Miss Jerry from the best library in town, Robinson Intermediate School, and it is time for First Chapter Friday. So I like fried chicken, and so I kept thinking about KFC, because that's my favorite kind of chicken, besides my mama's fried chicken. Anyway, so I decided to change the name of First Chapter Friday to KFC, and so it's going to stand for Kool First Chapter Books in our library. And yes, you can come check these out. So these are KFC books. Get it? Get it? Get it? I love that. So KFC First Chapter Friday. Kool First Chapter Friday books. So this week, we are so excited because we finally got the Bluebonnet nominees in our library. And so we are ready to start reading some of those books and do our reading challenge with that book. Remember, if you read 5 of the nominees out of all 20, you get to actually vote for the first time in your life, and it really counts for something. You know, like your parents vote for president and governor. Well, you actually, when you read 5 of those nominees or have 5 of them read to you, you get to vote to decide which book, not who, but which book should deserve the award for the Texas Bluebonnet Award for that year. And so this book, so far, out of the ones that I've read, I think I've read about 3 or 4 of them. This one so far is my favorite. I like this one. It's called Scarey Stories for Young Foxes. Now, when I looked at the cover, I was like, they're going to talk about little stories for little foxes. And that's not really what it was about. It's a great adventure story. It does involve foxes. And it involves a little bit of realness with Beatrix Potter. And she is the lady that wrote the Tale of Peter Rabbit stories. So she's in this book, and so the author intertwined her in the story with these foxes and a great big adventure. And this is a Newbery Honor book, and that means it's received an honor for having a really great story. So I'm going to read the first chapter. Here we go. KFC Friday, a scary story for young foxes. And the author, I forgot the author. The author is Christian McKay Heidecker. Christian McKay Heidecker. The haunted season had arrived in Antler Wood. The sky grayed, the leaves blushed red, and mist coiled through the trees like something alive. Even the pumpkins began to rot and show their true faces. Okay, so any book with a setting like that, about fall and pumpkins, oh yeah, I was hooked already. I love pumpkins. So this reminds me of fall up north where you've got all those beautiful colors and pumpkins starting to rot. Yeah. On these chilled autumn nights, it was best for kids to remain near their den on the edge of the wood. There they would feast on apples that tumbled from high branches. They could hunt for smoky acorns and crunchy sticky bugs and juicy mice. And when dusk turned to starlight, the kits could return to their den, tuck under their mother's fur, and be soothed by her heartbeat. Tell us a story, the alpha kit said one misty night. Make it scary, the fourth said, yipping and hopping. Yeah, said the third kit, snarling. So scary our eyes fall out of our heads. Please stop biting my face, children, their mother said. The kits behaved themselves while she smoothed out of bed for the night. Let's see, she said. How about Rattlebone? Mom, the beta said, rolling her eyes. You told us that story when we were 2 weeks old, said the alpha. Have you noticed that these foxes don't have names? The author's calling them first kit, second kit, alpha kit. I wonder what all that has to do with this story? And why did this author choose to start the story with the characters not having names? It's boring, said the fourth. Very well. Their mom began ripping out roots that had snuck through their den's walls. How about Willoughby, Wallaby, and the Floating Paw? Seriously, the fifth kit said. That story would raise the hackles on a field mouse, said the fourth. It's kit stuff, said the third. Well, their mom said, those are the stories I know. Seven little foxes all sighed. Sorry to be a disappointment, she said, lying down. She paused and looked at the kits with all her seriousness. But you must promise that no matter what you do tonight, you will not go to Bog Cavern. Their kit ears picked up. What? What's Bog Cavern? The alpha asked. That's where the old storyteller lives, their mom said. If you go there, you'll hear a story so frightening it will put the white in your tail. The kits stared at their den, dusty brown tails with wide eyes. Wait a second, the fourth said, looking at the fluffy white end of their mom's tail. You heard the story? Only part, she answered, and I wouldn't repeat what I heard for 1,000 mice. The kits gave one another meaningful looks. They didn't want some toothless story like Willoughby Wallaby, which could be forgotten with a shiver and some milk and a lick on the cheek. They wanted a story so scary it would prove their bravery and change them forever. All except the little one, that was. She preferred the sound of her mom's heartbeat. Yes, it may have been wise for fox kits to stay close to their den once the leaves began to fall, but the fog and the frost and the old crimson moon had stirred something in their whiskers, and so they waited till all was quiet, save their mother's snoozing. And then seven little foxes slipped out of their den with a mission to scare some white into their tails. Seven kits snuck into the night, over the log, around the stone, around the creek, and through the grass, deep into Antler Wood. The trees threw up their limbs as if to frighten them away. The little ones slowed at their warning. Come on, Sticky Paws, the beta kit whispered. Seven kits crept through the wood, beneath the bone-white branches, past the broken trap, beyond the cave of snoring, over the human bones, to the entrance of Bog Cavern. Roots dripped out over its mouth. Fog oozed from its throat. The kit squinted into the darkness, but saw nothing but a pile of bones and skin. Is this the storyteller? Is he dead? The fifth kit whispered. The fourth kit sniffed. Doesn't smell dead. Someone go nose it awake, the third kit said. Don't look at me, said the beta. I like my nose. Shh, said the alpha. The bones stirred, then jerked up so abruptly, every one of the kit's paws left the ground. The little one scurried behind her beta sister. The bones sat themselves upright, forming a sort of fox silhouette. Eyes flashed green in the darkness. What have we here? The storyteller said, with a voice like spilling dust. Grovelers. The beta gave the alpha a nudge. The alpha said, voice crackling. Would you tell us a scary story, please? The storyteller sniffed again. Too young. Come back when you've lost your milk teeth. The fox kits clamped their muzzles shut. The little one hoped that it was enough to get her siblings to scurry home, but no one budged. The alpha cleared his throat and delivered the speech he'd prepared. We're smart enough to know that stories are as harmless as the wind through the leaves. They cannot pluck our whiskers or break our bones or strip our skin. A silence grew beyond the roots, so complete it seemed it could suck the kits into darkness. You sure of that, are ya? The storyteller asked. 7 little foxes tried not to shiver. 2 of them succeeded. All scary stories have 2 sides, the storyteller said, like the bright and dark of the moon. If you're brave enough to listen and wise enough to stay to the end, the stories can shine a light on the good in the world. They can guide your muzzles. They can help you survive. A cloud slid off the moon and shadows reared up around the cavern. The antler wood seemed darker now that there was light. But, the storyteller said, if you don't listen closely, if you turn tail from the horror and don't stay until the end, then the darkness of the story can swallow all hope. It can frighten you so deeply you'll never want to leave your den again. You'll waste away the days with your mother, forever smelling like her milk. The wind pawed at the leaves and the moon shined on the gray fur of the storyteller's face. So, do you still want to hear a scary story? What do you think? Do you think those little 7 kids wanted to hear a scary story? Yeah. 7 little foxes gulped, only the alpha nodded. Come closer then, the storyteller said, and we'll see which of you makes it to the end of my story. The alpha marched forward. The 3rd kit hesitated a moment and then followed. Then came the beta and the 4th and the 5th and the 6th kit, all trembling. The littlest fox gazed back through the antler wood, over the bones, beyond the cave, past the trap, beneath the branches, through the grass and across the creek, around the stone and over the log, toward home. She breathed deep and padded close to the cavern with her siblings. 7 little foxes sat and listened. Our story begins, the storyteller said, in the Evie wood. And so it begins. All right. I like this story. I like a good ghost spooky adventure story, and this one definitely was. This is our KFC book for this week, and if you are interested, it is going to be at our KFC table in the library, so come on by and check it out.